Welcome back to Reddit Read for You. Today's subreddit is r/regular revenge. Entitled Lady at the Airport Gets What's Coming to Her. I'm at the airport, it's 3:45 in the morning and I'm flying cross-country today. TSA checkpoint opened at 3:30. I arrived at 3:20 and got in line for TSA. Right after I got there, 5 people showed up, including Entitled Lady. 4 of them got in line behind me like normal humans. Entitled Lady cut the line and stood in front of me and the 4 other people. I didn't say anything. It's 3 a.m., and my flight doesn't leave for an hour and a half. It's a dick move, but honestly, what does it really matter? TSA opened. Entitled Lady marched up to the counter. She went through the scanner machine thing and so did her belongings. They pulled her aside and told her they have to pat her down. I was waiting for my things to come out of the machine while this was going down. Then they told her they have to open her bags and look through them. I was sitting nearby putting myself back together and watched all of the people she cut in line go through TSA with no problems while she's still stuck getting her things searched. I loved every minute of it. So you want to take my fridge for free by tricking me? Joke's on you. This is sort of a outsmart and sort of a r/regular revenge story, I think. So, my dad had a store that is at least 3 floors underground. This store was being closed down and we had to hand it over to the property owner empty. If there is anything that they would need to discard themselves, they would charge us a highly inflated price. After we emptied out the store, the last item left was a 4-doors Coca-Cola fridge that you can see in your typical gas station or deli. If the property owner or management has to discard it, that means the charge alone for discarding will cost us not only our deposit, but then some. We have called the Coca-Cola distributor who gave us that fridge to pick it up. They said that the age of the fridge and being under 3 floors down, the cost to take it with them will not be worth it for them. They won't take it back. Then my dad asked me to hire some people on our own and pay them to properly discard it. I asked my dad, being the fridge running and all, what if I get to sell it? To which he replied, if I can, then whatever I get for it is mine. I go to this business district where you can find new and used restaurant items being sold and bought. Tried a couple of stores with the picture of the fridge in my phone and most said if it was on the street level, they would pay me $500 to $600 depending upon condition of it. But they will not pull it up 3 flights of stairs. Then I found a guy who had a flatbed truck and said he is willing to give me $400 for it. He and his folks will pick it up. Great. Few hours later I go to that store along with him and his buddy. I know, 2 people to pull that fridge up. I was just wondering about that myself. I removed the shelves of the fridge so that when they drag it up, the glass doors do not get destroyed. These 2 guys pull the whole darn thing up all by themselves to my amazement, as I was praying that they don't get crashed to death underneath it, as I will be liable for it. After they put it on the flatbed, they tell me that they will not pay anything for it and if I do not like the deal, then I myself can take it off of their truck and do whatever I want with it. I see that they put me in a pickle. To which I respond, fine. Just take it. The main guy then says,
Okay, can you give me the shelves from the store?
I locked the store up when they took it out of the door. I can't open it back again since we have to vacate the premise for today. I will hand over the keys tomorrow and then I will pick it up and keep it for you, I guess. Now the petty revenge part. The next day this guy calls me back.
Hey, can I get those shelves please? I can't do anything with this fridge without those shelves.
Sure. It will only cost you $400.
What? Then I will go and leave the fridge in that store, or next to it.
Be my guest. We have officially handed the keys over and that place is not my responsibility anymore. Anyone throwing any trash there will be responsible for their action. And you know this place is full of surveillance cameras.
You said you were gonna go back in today.
Just like you lied and played me, I lied too. Right after you left, I went back in, got those shelves and handed in our keys to them.
Tell me where you live.
Blah blah blah. I just hang up and block his number. I used my Google Voice number for him so it was very easy. My parent asked what happened. I said, sure, I did not make any money. But you wanted to pay for it to be removed. Look on the bright side. I got it removed for free. Group of buttholes bully me for half a year. So, a bit of backstory. I was a 5-foot, 80-pound kid in 7th grade. I'm a fast boy, and I did karate for a little bit. The bully was at least 2 heads taller than me, and probably 100 or so pounds heavier. Also, this is a bit long. You have been warned. So, start of 7th grade. I have a couple friends in first period, gym. The bully kid was a numbskulled idiot I knew from last year, because he dropped a chair on my arm in history. Anyways, he's the kid who acts stupid but is also the kid you want to stay away from unless you're another bully. Anyways, 4th week of school. I spend gym goofing off with my friends, because what else do you do in gym? And during soccer, out comes bully number 1, and rams me when I'm dribbling towards the other team's goal. I'm mediocre at soccer, better at defense. Bully number 1 rams me in the chest, putting 100 and something pounds behind it. I go flying, hit the ground, roll around, and lay on my back, wondering what in the hell just happened. Bully number 1 says it was an accident, that he didn't mean to send me flying across a quarter of the gym. The teacher lets him go with a warning, and I get up, still dazed. For some reason, I believed bully number 1's excuse. So, by my school's gym, there's this back path that goes outside that my friends and I like to take after gym. Anyways, bully number 1 says, "Man, I would like to throw that guy into the water, there's this little pond behind the path that smells like Shrek swamp." Anyways, I reply with, "If you went on a diet, I'd gladly jump in there myself, yes, okay." Not the best comeback, but it did the job. A couple kids chuckle. The next week, we're playing soccer again. Indoors. I'm on the same team as bully number 1, but not bully number 2, his friend. Bully number 2 looks like he practices wrestling or some crap. No one wants to be goalie on my team, so I volunteer. Keep in mind, I'm one thin, straight stick. If I tried to block a solid shot, I'd probably stumble a few paces. Okay, this next part is going to be a bit cringy. By a bit, I mean a lot. So, my crush had the ball. She was about the same body shape as me. I see the judging. Please don't. Anyways, she's a bit taller, about an inch or two. She's just dribbling, same old stuff. Bully number 2 takes the ball from her, and sprints straight at me. I lower myself down, because the goal isn't really a goal, it's a mat set against a wall. I cover majority of the mat. Bully number 2 gets pretty close, so I jump at him. He waits until I'm on top of the ball before he tries kicking it. The kick hits me right in the ribs and I roll against the mat. Mother fluffer. My crush quickly gets the ball and kicks it across the gym. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Sympathy points. Woohoo. Yeah, honestly, I'd rather not. It felt like half of my ribs were shattered. Honestly, though, I doubt they were little more than a bit bruised. I sat up, caught my breath, and went back to being goalie. I have a pretty high capacity for pain, because I have a few older brothers who are verbal and physical a-holes. I've had my fair share of bruises and crap. Anyways, the final incident happened a little more than a month later. I'd hoped they had forgotten about me. For the most part, they had. In the gym, there was no soccer, so my friends and I are reduced to playing foursquare. Recently, bully number 3 was moved into the class, and bully number 4 joined the group. He is a somewhat cool guy, despite being a bully. He really just sat by, told a couple jokes, and T-posed while the other guys did their crap. Anyways, my friends and I are playing foursquare. I don't mean to brag, but I am a god at foursquare. Enter in bully group. They took the ball, and ran. I was almost fed up with their crap. Almost. And so, we began a game of keep away. It was pretty fun, except the bullies got a little physical. And then one of my friends messes up and throws a bit long. I have to sprint to get the ball. Because bully number 3 was closer to the ball than I was, I have to sprint. And I don't mean sprint like run as fast as you can, I mean sprint like there's death himself behind you. I got the ball, and slammed against the mat against the wall. I took off, running in the opposite direction, but bully number 3 grabs my shirt. Since I'm still a white noodle, my shirt streams behind me like a damn cape. Bully number 3 grabs the back of my shirt, and pulls me back. I drop to the floor, curling around the ball. The bullies all start grabbing it. They finally get it, but not before my friends get there. There's a lot of pushing and shoving. One of the bullies gets the ball and hightails it. One of them kicks me in the back before running after them. The teacher is as blind as a bat. I'm so done with this now. I sprint after them, snatch the ball from 2, and quickly dart away. 4 is still standing and T-posing. I weave between a couple kids playing table tennis, and then I realize I'm running at a corner. I turn around, seeing 1 and 3 right behind me. I quickly throw the ball right in 3's face. 3 stumbles back a pace, wondering what in the hell happened. I run forward, and kick 1 in the balls. Yup, right in the ballsack. He says, "Ow," like I slapped him with a feather. 2 runs in, and I spin and kick him in the hip. I'm fast, agile, and light on my feet. I quickly kick the others, scamper out of range, and then dart in again. The teacher still doesn't notice. Instead, she's watching a couple kids playing wall ball. After I get in a few good kicks, I try to run. 2 clips me on the jaw with his fist, but I push past him and run. He trips me, and I try to roll away. And then my friends, bless their souls, come in to the rescue. This little struggle gets a bit violent. A few punches are thrown, but mostly, everyone is trying to slap each other or kick each other in the shins. My group of friends pretty much have the same builds as me, except one, who is a bit taller. After a small sissy fight, my friends and I run. I turn around and see 2 nursing a bruised shin, and 3 limping. It gives me a certain rush of satisfaction to see them in pain. My friends only have a couple minor bruises, but the incident actually kind of made us better friends. 4 months later, those bullies haven't bothered me again. Sicko mode got my butthole coach fired. I run cross country and have been on an actual team since I was in 5th grade. At the time of this story, I was a junior in high school. Still am. And it takes place last fall. A little backstory, since without this I kind of look like the bad guy. I'll call the coach Richard because, well, you know why. Richard is the coach of the girls' cross-country team. He wasn't very well liked by anybody on either team, since he almost always opted to run with the boys' team during practice and simply told the girls what to do. He was also pretty creepy. One time on a run, he said that he had, and I quote, done things he regretted to girls, in college. He also had a history of off-putting behavior at the end-of-season banquet, including a time he called out a girl for being too boy crazy and another time made a joke about the fastest runner on the boys' team having such a big ego that we would need another bus to bring it to the cross-country meets. Mind you, this is in front of every single athlete in their whole family. He was generally unpleasant to be around and had some anger issues too. There are about 1,000 other incidents that I could bring up now, but we would never get past the backstory if I did. So here we go. It was October 17, 2018, and we had the JV state meet after school. We all loaded the bus with everything we needed for the meet. Water jugs, tent, tarp, etc., and then got everybody onto the bus. My friend, M, brought with him a Brookstone Big Blue speaker to play rap music on the way to the meet. This was a pretty standard practice, and even though the music we were playing was supposed to be clean, nobody listened to that rule and none of the authority figures really cared. Thus, most of the music we played was explicit. But oh god no. Not today. When the song Sicko Mode by Travis Scott, you may have heard of it, came on during the bus ride, Richard wasn't having it. This was weird, since he was normally totally okay with this kind of music and had been for years. But anyhow, the following dialogue ensued. Dialogue is not verbatim.
Hey, M, turn that music off.
Okay, just give me a second.
No, turn it off, now.
I'm doing that. Hold on.
Are you arguing with me?
What?
Stop arguing.
Apparently Richard was not happy with the fact that M was not able to use telepathy to silence the music instantly, so he walked to the back of the bus where M was sitting and took away the speaker. We were all pretty upset that there wasn't any more music, but there was nothing we could really do about it. He also purportedly asked one of the girls if the song had the N-word in it. Yes, with a hard R, while it was still playing. We got to the meet and I was tasked with carrying up the tent with a few other guys because I was varsity, meaning I wasn't running in the meet. I was fine with carrying the tent until Richard wasn't. He complained that I wasn't carrying the tent correctly. My patience for him was becoming increasingly short, so I just moved my hands and tried to forget about it. I was still pretty pissed off at how demanding he was being today. The meet itself went off without a hitch. Both our JV boys and girls teams ended up winning, which was pretty awesome. We were all happy and celebrating the victory, but Richard was still being a pissy butthole for no reason. Now, when you win a cross-country meet in my school's division, you get interviewed on camera for a local running website, which is pretty fun. We had to stay extra late after the meet to get these interviews done for both of our teams, and they can take a while. So while the girls' team was getting their interview done, the boys' team had to just sit around and wait. This was fine, since we were all in a great mood from the win. One of my friends picked up another of my friends and put him on his shoulders. This would be good and all if it weren't for Richard. Apparently, this was way too rowdy and distracting to the girls' team during their interview, so Richard's natural inclination was to, of course, scream at us. I should mention that the kid he yelled at is probably the nicest kid I've ever met in my life and is by no means a butthole. This dialogue is verbatim. Richard. To friend with other friend on shoulders.
Can you stop being an butthole for 5 minutes?
I might have let this slide, but because he took away our sicko mode, I decided to stand up against him. Me. How about yourself? Richard, in response to this, grabbed me by the throat and shoved me backwards, almost causing me to fall over. I was stunned. Richard then began to scream expletives and insults in my face, and I can smell his nasty breath hit my nose. That's how close to my face he is. He grabbed onto my shoulders and shook me during the process. Now, I'm a decent-sized kid. 170 pounds of lean muscle, and I definitely could have sent him to the hospital, since he's a very slight build. I wanted to punch him in the throat, but then I got a better idea. Let's let his actions speak for themselves. After this all went down, he stalked off to go get the boys' coach, who will be referred to in this story as CC for Chill Coach, and my friends started asking me what the hell just happened. I really didn't know, but I was seething. CC walked up to me and then started to berate me for what had just happened. He got angry at me for disobeying and talking back to a coach like that. I tried to explain my side of the story to him, but he wouldn't have it. The boys got their interview done and we all walked back to the bus and were about to leave before Richard pulled me aside before getting on the bus. He must have felt bad about what happened and wanted to apologize. Wrong. He continued to rant in my face about how insubordinate I was, and how much of a failure I was, and how, if he didn't have to take this bus home, he wasn't here to babysit us, etc. He asked me if I had anything to say to him, and I just said, I think we all need to be kind and respectful to each other. On the bus ride home, music from Big Blue, which M had since stolen back, was out of the question. The entire bus started singing, Party in the USA, and Richard turned around and screamed at us to stop singing. While driving home from the school that night, I got a phone call from CC. I picked it up and he had changed his tune from earlier. He expressed to me how bad he felt about what happened and how he hoped I was doing okay. I said I was doing fine but still mad. My anger manifested itself in my driving style that night because I hit 110 miles per hour on a back road. When I got home, I explained the situation to my parents. They did basically the same thing as CC. Pissed at me at first, and then pissed at Richard once they got more of the details. The next day, I was called down to the athletic department office. Gee, what could this possibly be about? The athletic director, principal, and school superintendent were all in the athletic office and questioned me about the incident. I told them everything. The athletic director thanked me for my cooperation and proceeded to interview my peers. He also let me know that Richard would not be allowed to coach or have any contact with the team for the foreseeable future. In the following few days, I had like 10 different people walk up to me in the hallway asking what happened, and some of them were randos that I had never even talked to before. Some of the girls from the girls' team thanked me for my services. Several days and several phone calls between myself, my parents, AD, and CC later, I find out that Richard handed in an official letter of resignation to the front desk. I know that he wasn't fired per se, but had he not resigned, he definitely would have been fired. Numerous other parents submitted complaints to AD, including a girl's dad who was the head women's cross-country coach at the local university, and one of my friend's moms, who was a decorated Olympic marathoner back in the 80s and 90s, and I also found out that one of the girls went into the athletic office to tell administration about the time that Richard had made her extremely uncomfortable in a certain way. But that's not all, folks. Richard also sent me a half-baked apology letter the day after the end of the varsity season, mid-November, in which he basically called me insubordinate again and blamed my teammates for what happened. My parents put it in a frame and it's hanging above my desk now. That still isn't the end of it though. A few weeks ago, Richard decided that it would be a really good idea to send an email out to the families of the girls' team asking for their endorsement for getting him rehired. I received a screenshot of it from one of the girls. I thanked her and sent it to my mom, who then asked me if Richard had completely lost his mind and promptly sent it to AD. AD was furious and told Richard to never even attempt to contact me or the team ever again or he would notify the police. Don't take away my sicko mode, or I'll take away your career. Thank you for watching, and if you liked this video, please click the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.